Hey guys, today we're going to finish talking about some different properties you need to simplify expressions, which also helps you to solve equations. So distributive property, here on the left, you're going to have A times B and A times C. So you would write that as AB plus AC. All right, if it's negative, same thing, AB and then minus AC. AB, you'll have a minus because a positive times a negative is a negative, so minus AC. All right, so this is the property that we're going to use to simplify each of these expressions. So if you need to pause the video to take notes, do so, but I'm going to move through these kind of quickly. All right, number 1, 7 times x and 7 times 4. So we're going to have 7x plus 28. All right, so each of these work the same. Here we're going to have 2 times b and 2 times negative 3. And I'm actually going to quit writing that there so that I'm not covering up the numbers. So there's 2b. I have a positive and a negative, so it's a minus 6. All right, the next one I've got a negative 4 times y. Negative times a positive, and then a negative times a positive again, minus 12. All right, number 4, I've got a negative times a positive, so negative 5m, and then negative 5 times negative 2 is positive 10. When you multiply two negatives, you get a positive. Number 5, that's the same as a negative 1 outside the parentheses because there's just a negative sign, so negative times y is negative y. Negative 1y is the same thing, but we assume that the 1 is there. So we're just going to write negative y. And then negative times negative 9 is plus 9. And then number 6, we've got 8 times 4 and 8 times negative b. Number 7, we've got a negative times a negative, which is a positive 4w. And a negative times a negative is a positive 40. Number 8, 5 times 2m is 10m, and 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. All right, number 9, you've got negative 6x. A negative times a negative becomes a positive 12. Number 10 is 3m. 3 times m, and 3 times n. Number 11, x times y is just xy, and x times 4 is 4x. Okay, we always put the number in front of the variable. It's just kind of the way we do things with math. Okay? All right, number 12, d times c, and d times negative 4. All right, number 13, again, you've got a number and a variable times another variable. So 6a times b is 6ab. You still multiply what's on the outside times the first term, and then what's on the outside times the second term. So 6a times b is 6ab plus 6a times 2c. So multiply the numbers together. 6 and 2 is 12. And then bring both a and c along. Number 14 is still distributive property, but there's 3 terms now instead of 2. So you multiply the 2 by each term on the inside of the parentheses. So first it's 2 times x, then it's 2 times negative y, which is negative 2y, and then 2 times 8. Number 15, same thing. I'm going to multiply the x times 2y. I'm going to write that as 2xy. The order doesn't matter, but we often put those in alphabetical order, and since 2 goes first, I'm just going to rearrange those this way. If you have 2yx, associative property says that is the same thing as well. All right, now do x times the middle term, so I'm going to have negative 5xz, and x times 1 is plus x. All right, number 16, 1/4 times 8x. 1/4 of 8, or 8 divided by 4, is 2x. And 1/4 of -4 is just -1. All right, this is good practice with fractions, guys. If you need to use a calculator, do so only to check yourself. It's really good for you to work on these with mental math stuff. All right, number 17. You have a 3/5 times 1/6. So the 3 and the 6 will reduce. That becomes 3 goes into 3 one time, 3 goes into 6 twice. So I can rewrite that as 1/10 x. And then 1/6 of 18, or 18 divided by 6, is just 3. All right, number 18, we have -1/8 times 4/5. Again, the 4 and the 8 will reduce, so I can reduce those by 4. 4 goes into 4 once, 4 goes into 8 twice. Then I just multiply across, I get -1/10 x again. And then 24 divided by 8 is 3. Since I have a negative on the outside and a negative here, I'm going to have two negatives make it a positive. So 24 divided by 8, that would be a 3. All right, so that's how you do distributive property. Hope this is helpful for you guys. All right, guys, just a few more that we're going to do. These are multi-step expressions where you have to simplify and then maybe combine like terms. So we are going to look at 6 more examples, and then you can get started on your homework. All right, so 8 times 2x is 16x. All right, trying to get my pen to work, guys. All right, so 8 times 2x is 16x, and 8 times -3 is -24. I'm going to bring down the -6x, and then I notice that both of these have an x, so I'm going to combine those. 16 minus 6 is 10x. Bring down the -24. I can't combine it because it doesn't have an x on it. All right, number 20, I've got 9 times 2x, 9 times 2k, 18k, minus 9 times 4, and then I have another set of parentheses, so I'm going to distribute again. So I'm going to do -2 times 7k, and -2 times -12. Again, if I have anything that has like terms, I can combine those. So I've got 18 minus 14k, and I've got -36 and a positive 24. -36 plus 24 is -12. All right, number 21, I'm going to bring down the 10 to start with. And then I got to get rid of this set of parentheses. So I have a negative on the outside of there. That means I'm going to distribute that negative to the y, and negative times -6. And then I'm going to bring down the y on the outside again. All right, combine like terms. I'm going to look at my variables first. I have a -y plus a -y. -1 plus -1 is -2y. And then 10 plus 6. Number 22, I'm going to bring down the 6 and then do distributive property. So I have 8 times 4w, and then I have a minus. I'm going to have a positive times a minus as a negative. 8 times 7 is 56. And then I have another set of parentheses. I have to do the same thing and distribute. So I've got the negative. You can put a 1 there if it helps, but you got a negative times the first term and times the second term. So -2w, and negative times 1 is -1. Be careful here. A lot of times people forget to distribute that negative to both terms. Don't do that. All right, I have 32W minus 2W, which is 30W. And then I have 6 minus 56 minus 1. So 56 and 1 is 57, so I have negative 57 plus 6, which is negative 51. And my pen's going to quit working again. All right, last two. These are the fun ones because these have fractions involved. Again, I would go ahead and reduce. Since you've got to multiply a fraction by a fraction, you can reduce the top and the bottom. Just don't forget what this is in order to multiply it by your second term. But at least getting started, I'm going to say 9 and 3 can both be reduced. 1 goes into 3, 3 goes into 9 3 times. So that's a 3 there. And then 2 goes into 10 5 times, and 2 goes into 4 twice. So that becomes 15 over 2, and then don't forget your x here. All right, and then I have to multiply negative 4. That's the same as negative 4 over 1. The 4's on the top and the bottom here cancel. The 9 stays, so I have negative 9 here. All right, then I have negative 1/4 of 2. Negative 1/4 of 2. 2 divided by 4 is 1/2, so that just becomes negative 1/2 x. And negative 1/4 of negative 8. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 2 negatives become a positive, so that just becomes a plus 2. All right, combine like terms. Negative 15 halves minus 1/2, that's 14 halves. 14 halves is the same thing as 7x. Negative 9 plus 2 is negative 7. Okay, so again, if I do 15 minus 1, that's 14 over 2. 14 over 2 is just 7. So 7x minus 7 is the simplified version of that expression. All right, last one, number 4. We are going to reduce the 4 and the 8. So 4 goes into 1, or 4 goes into 4 one time. 4 goes into 8 2 times. So this becomes 7 over 10x. And then I have to do 7 times 16 divided by 8. You may need a calculator for that. So that should give you 14. All right, so the next one is 3/5 times 1/2. So multiply 3 times 1, and that gives me 3/10 x. And then the 10 divided by 5 is 2, so 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. When I add like terms here, I'm going to have 7/10 plus 3/10, which is 10 over 10. 10 over 10 is just x. 14 minus 6 gives me plus 8. And that is it.